Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at a couple of Bucky customs that I just finished up. Look, we haven't gotten a classic comic book-esque World War II era Bucky since the Toy Biz days, and that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. I mean, this is a classic titular character for Marvel Comics. We've gotten God knows how many versions of Captain America. Why haven't we gotten a good classic Bucky? Bucky is one of these characters that Hasbro has severely overlooked, in my opinion. We've really only gotten modern Winter Soldier versions, and that's it. I've been wanting to put together an Invaders display for one of my shelves. You gotta have Bucky. I had a couple of different ideas for how to do a Bucky figure, a couple of different ways. I just went ahead and did both of them. And you can tell me in the comment section down below which one you like better. I have my preference between the two, but I like both of them for different reasons. So let's just go ahead. We're gonna jump in. I'll show you guys what I did here. So we'll start with this one here on the left. This is more of a, I guess kind of a more maybe slightly realistic looking Bucky, just in the sense of he's, not really wearing the red leggings and things like that. And I just kind of wanted him to have a more militaristic uniform look. Now on him, what I did here is we've got a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Star-Lord, upper torso, lower torso, all that kind of stuff. And I've mated this up with a G.I. Joe lower here. Now these are stalker legs and boots and crotch piece there, along with some other little touches here and there. Now, one of the things that I did have to do when I put these two together is I did actually have to Dremel around his waist on the torso, because the torso was wider than the crotch piece was. So that was something that I had to do, and you can't really tell where I did it because of the belt, but I basically made them the same size so that they link together good. So even if you take the belt off, it still matches up correctly, and he doesn't have some weird love handles hanging over the edge there. Now, as far as the upper torso goes, because it was already blue, I didn't really have to do anything there. I did do some red touches here on the gloves, right there on the collar there, and then did some silver touches there on the buttons for this flap that comes across his chest. And then I did use a Gundam marker to mark in some lines there on the arms, on the chest, stuff like that, just to, just kind of accent some of the line work that was actually there on that, on that torso here. Again, the legs are stalker legs. I did dye the legs blue and dye the boots red, and then I did go back over and paint them as well. When I dyed the legs here and the boots, they came out a really dark red and a really dark blue, so I went over them with a lighter blue, which is the same blue that I went over the torso with, just to give them some texture. Did some red pockets there. This is actually a piece of Stalker's belt. I believe it's Stalker's belt. I can't remember. One of the G.I. Joe belts there that was cut off from the straps, and I went ahead and painted that red, painted up the grenade, painted up the little silver touches there on the buckle and on the button snaps there. Went ahead and did silver on the buckles there on the boots. Did the holster as well. And I do believe that is Stalker's holster. Did that one on the holster. Gave him Stalker's gun, and I gave him basically, this is kind of like a MAC-10. Kind of a G.I. Joe's version of a MAC-10. And then I gave him these upper brown straps up here. I might go back and paint them red to match the belt. I don't know. I kind of like them being brown, offset all the red that's on him. I'm not sure. And then here we have, I believe this is a Dick Grayson head sculpt from one of the multiverse figures. It may be from the Dick Grayson Batman figure. I'm not sure. That's kind of what we've got going on here. And this gives him, to me, a little bit more of like maybe a proper militaristic look, where he wouldn't be wearing, again, red leggings or anything like that, but, would be wearing the traditional, blue and red colors that we know for Bucky there. Pretty basic build, simple thing going on right there, but I like it, I dig it. Then we have more of a classic Bucky right here with the red leggings. Now, these are also Stalker legs. I didn't want to just go with the spandex look for him. I like the Stalker legs. They work really well, and they happen to snap right into the ball joints here on the hips for this torso. Now, this is the torso from the well, it's been used on a few different things. It's been used on Ghost Rider. It's been used Star-Lord, an old that 5-pack Star-Lord. This one I got from the 2-pack AIM soldiers. So this was yellow, which I dyed blue, dyed the pants red, dyed the boots blue on this particular one, and then went over them with paint and dry brushed red and blue over the top of them. Went ahead and did his collar there, although I did have to chop that collar down because it was a little bit too tall. And then on him, for all his all his accessories and stuff, I went with brown on this one with nice little silver accents there, little silver buttons. He's got the silver buttons on his chest. The gloves I did do a dye job on and had them come out looking almost like leather gloves, kind of a reddish leather gloves with the silver buttons on them. Gave him a kind of a World War II era. It'd be it's not a P9. I can't remember what kind of gun that is. I'm blanking at the moment. This holster I did make because this holster does go to this gun. I can't remember what I made that strap out of. Honestly, I think it was from a McFarlane Dune figure, and I attached it to this holster here. The head sculpt is a Jason Todd head sculpt from DC Multiverse, I believe, which I think works out really well for this version of Bucky. Now, he is holding an AK, which obviously didn't exist not in World War II, but he needed a good kind of classic military gun there. So we've got the brown straps. Again, painted up the buckles there on the boots, because again, just like with the other one, these are stalker legs. And one thing I did have to do to this torso, because on this torso, there's a big gap there between the crotch piece and the lower torso here, where on the figure this came off of, there's this big thick belt. And so there's essentially just like an empty space with just a peg between the crotch and the lower torso there. So I took that out completely and filled that in to where they meet up just perfectly, because that space there really just made him honestly too tall for Bucky. Because one of the things that I wanted both these figures to look good with was, of course, a Captain America figure, and I needed Captain America to be obviously bigger than Bucky, and so I was able to pull that off. All the Captain America figures, pretty much all of them, except for some of the older Toy Biz ones, are all bigger than these two Bucky figures. I wanted figures that were going to be shorter because, again, this is World War II eras, Invaders team. I want the slightly shorter, almost kid-looking version of Bucky. Now, between these two, to be honest, the kind of more classic one is my favorite. This is the one I like better. This is probably the one that's going to go on my Invaders shelf with my display, just because it's more classic looking and a little bit more World War II era and more like what Bucky looked like at that time. But I still really like this one, and very happy that I made it. This will go on my Captain America shelf as kind of more of maybe a modern take on Bucky. But there are my two Bucky figures. It was a lot of fun to make, and I really wish Hasbro would give us a good modern Bucky. They haven't. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. He's kind of a mainstay character from the beginning of Marvel Comics, back when they were Timely Comics. Why we haven't gotten a modern Bucky doesn't make any sense at this point, but if you want one, you got to get the Toy Biz one, which is an abysmal figure, or you got to do what I did and make your own. So that's what we've got here. Would love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you like one better than the other? Do you hate them both? Tell me. Let me know. But I like them. I'm very happy with both of them. I think they both came out pretty damn good. So this is definitely going to help add some flavor to my displays. So there you go, guys. I appreciate you watching. You got any questions or comments, leave it down below. And as always remember to enjoy your collection.